I'm good.
And a good Tuesday evening out there in Radio Land. Welcome to the Sports Recap Show here on 92.9 WAME. Brought to you by our friends at the Charlotte Checkers. We're live from the Radio Marion Studios from the mothership of the refurbished Radio Marion. You're going to see us in, I don't know, maybe this is 4K, 3D, I don't know.
Color.
But Bryson, who is on the board, is going to be providing great visuals as well as audio.
I'm also on the cameras today.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You're not just the audio.
they're really putting me to work now. So
You're gonna
Cameras actually moves. Mark's testing it out.
probably about time you might be able to ask old Billy Buck for a raise.
hey, Billy's good to me. We've all been trying to figure this stuff out. We probably started this on Wednesday of last week when we got the cameras, and they're pretty cool because they track you. It's like we've got camera operators.
Yeah, it's like a gimbal.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat.
Yep.
And the old like foam things are gone.
Yeah. Out with the old, in with the new.
It's got these new designs.
Looks like a totally different place.
It
looks-
does.
It looks sharp.
It does.
That's really good.
Yeah. Painted the walls. The walls are different color.
Yeah,
Yeah, flat.
if you are watching, you can see, and you'll be able to see us from multiple angles and all sorts of things. Bryson, give him a
Up
little.
close.
Give him a little.
Who do we want to show first?
I don't know. Just go with a little rotation. Of the
There's
camera.
Brian.
There's the
Say
professor.
hello to the professor. And then we'll go to Mark.
The rookie.
And then let's find Harry.
No,
See,
that's
now
not-
I've got a.
Is it that hard?
Well,
Well,
apparently it's hard.
hang on, hang on.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There we go. Hold on. There we are. There you go.
Start of the show.
Oh, perfect. So, yeah, how exciting, Bryson. Just curious, are we live on Facebook too?
We are. We're on Facebook, so you'll have to go to WAME's Facebook page,
Oh,
and we'll share it over to the Sports Recap.
Oh.
For the time being, that's our temporary location.
Well, so
We'll
hold
move
on.
back to
I'm gonna give it a little share.
Yeah.
Relocated.
Hey,
Yeah.
while you're doing that, just a little FYI to our listeners out there. In 3 weeks, actually, on the 25th, the show will broadcast again from 6 to 6:45. However,
But
we will be on location at the Biscuit before the Checkers game against the Providence Bruins
That's right.
that night. And if you listen in next week or the next week, we might have some giveaway stuff for that game. Like
Giveaway.
some tickets, and I think I have some swag that just might get signed.
Wait, hold on. There might be swag.
Yep.
Wow.
That just might get signed by a couple players.
You know, I've been wanting a Checkers jersey for a long time now. Every time we go to a game, Brian, how often do I talk about it?
Yeah.
So I will be in the running for some signed swag.
No, you won't.
Actually, I'm sure I'm probably disqualified.
No, you won't, because you know I don't have any jerseys.
I thought he was gonna say I don't make them that big.
Maybe the one that's on the wall out there.
Yeah, there's that.
There is that one.
But
All right, but yeah, tune in next week. I'll let y'all give some more details next week about it.
yeah. So exciting times here at the
Yeah.
Sports Recap Show. And Brian, who was not here last week, we're gonna get him back in the swing of things. We had a good show last week, like you said. Maybe ran a few minutes late, but listen, we talked some
It
good
happens.
sports. We talked some good sports here on the Sports
I know.
Recap
I looked
Show.
at your notes. Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Retired, probably the greatest female U.S. basketball player in history.
Well, we came to the conclusion probably one of the best and most decorated basketball players of all time, male or female.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the ultimate competitor, the ultimate winner. So undefeated in Olympic play, which to me just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. But we also talked about the Four Nations. That wasn't on the outline, but we did talk about that for a little bit. That's actually I think what we ran over.
Which was cool. Not expected. Not what we expected. Like more intensity.
Yeah,
than we-
I thought
than
it was
what we
great.
Thought there was going to be. I thought it was great.
Mark said it. I hope they continue to do it.
Good setup for the Olympics next year.
Agreed. But on to this week.
Yep.
As always,
Let's start off.
we are going to start with trivia, birthdays, and interesting stats.
All right,
Birthday.
so let's start with birthday.
What you got, Brian?
I got a couple of them.
Okay.
Number one, how about Newt Rockney?
Newton Rockney.
there's an old one.
Artist or an actor? I can't remember which.
Popularized the forward pass in football. And I also believe his team was the first to employ the shift on offense.
That would make sense.
Wasn't illegal then.
Nick Castellanos.
I know Nick.
Castellanos. I got one not on my list right here. I want to see if you know who this was. Do any of y'all know who Ray Boom Boom Mancini was?
I mean, I don't know if I knew my Ray Boom Boom,
Boom, boom.
but I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Ray Mancini before.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you what he was, but I know I've heard the name.
At one point, he was the WBA lightweight champion.
That's why they called him Boom Boom.
And he rose to prominence probably in the late 70s or maybe early 80s when ESPN would have top-ranked boxing on every Tuesday night. Ray Boom Boom Mancini was a big star on there. Ended up, I think at one point he was like 30-0.
Wow.
And then I got one more for you, and then we'll get to some trivia, and it might involve this person. Draymond Green.
I've heard of Draymond Green.
You heard of him?
How old is he?
Draymond's birthday today.
It's his birthday. I don't know how
What
long.
a day.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
So he's kind of a bad boy of basketball, right? Would you agree with
Let's
that?
call it that.
That's fair.
All right. Can you tell me who holds the NBA career record for ejections?
I can.
Not technical fouls.
Rasheed Wallace.
Ejections.
Rasheed Wallace.
You are correct.
You know how I know this?
How do you know that?
This was asked in trivia last week about who leads the ejections in NFL, NBA.
All right, but that's not the whole question.
That's all right, but it was Rasheed Wallace. Yeah.
Yes or no? Is Draymond Green in the top 5?
No.
No, I don't think so either. I do not think.
I don't think he's been ejected that much. I mean, he's been ejected a couple times, but like
If we're talking about technical fouls,
there were some
We'll get to that part, too.
there were some times where like Rasheed felt like it was once every 5 games.
I'm going to say he's not in the top 5.
Mark,
I agree. I don't think he's
you are both wrong.
What?
As a matter of fact, our man Draymond Green is number 2.
Our.
Rasheed Wallace has 22.
Where's Dennis Rodman?
Draymond Green Wallace has 29, Green 22, Dwight Howard 17, and then tie for 4th and 5th is Charles Barkley and Anthony Mason with 16.
It was Charles, not Rodman.
All right, so speaking of, where do you think Draymond ranks on the all-time career technical list?
I'm going to say second.
Third.
He's number 20.
What? He just goes straight for ejection.
Now get
the
this.
technicals.
Yeah, because get this. He has 131 career tags. So you have to get 2 to get ejected, right?
Correct. But he's
So that's, wait a minute, listen. So that's 44 of his 131 technicals. That's over a third happened in just 22 games.
Yeah. Because so go big or go home. Or do both. Go big and go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I was gonna say he had to have done most of those ejections then. The 2 technicals.
Yeah, well, I mean, how else do you get ejected?
Otherwise, he's a good student. You just
Yeah.
catch him on the wrong
Yeah.
night.
He has 131, 44 of them are in 22 of the games, right? Just so you know, career tags, Carl Malone, the mailman's first at 332.
I knew he was first.
Charles Barkley, 329, and Rasheed is 3rd at 317. All right. What do you think about Draymond in personal fouls? I will tell you this. I don't have all the list. Draymond Green has committed 2,460 personal fouls. That is 223rd all time.
I was going to say, I bet you he's not high in fouls since he doesn't have a lot of tags.
Just take a guess.
He's also been a pretty good defender throughout his career.
All of those fouls, where do you think he ranks among active players?
Active?
Among active players.
All time he was what?
223.
223.
I'm going to say active, he's like 8th.
So Draymond's been playing for a while. But there's
He's top 10.
does active mean like guys that are on your roster?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going by, I looked at this at like Basketball Reference. So the active are the guys in bold.
Okay, so,
So they're active.
I'll say. Would you say?
I said 8.
I'll say 6th.
He's actually 13th among active players.
Okay.
And if I remember right, if my memory serves me right when I was looking at the list, I believe number 1 is Russell Westbrook.
That sounds about right.
I was going to say LeBron's probably more fouls than Draymond too.
Oh,
He's been playing
100%.
longer. He's been playing
Yeah, I'm
longer.
pretty sure he's above.
Oh,
Yes.
but that's longevity.
Well, exactly. So I was trying
I'm
to.
sure Kevin Durant's got more.
Yeah, I was gonna say LeBron. Russell makes sense. And
So he playing longer.
who's a center that's been playing forever? I mean, Andrew Bogut, is he still playing?
No.
Okay.
He's also not on a team.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
gonna say because Dwight would probably be on there, but like
He's yeah.
He's not on the team.
Yep.
That's what I got.
All right.
Draymond Green trivia.
Hey, real quick.
Interesting stats.
Yeah.
out of left field. Bro.
Do you have anything?
No, y'all did pretty good on that, actually. You know.
So I got some breaking news, and this is just confirming reports that came out earlier today. And really, this is local region or local high school sports news,
Yeah, I saw this.
and this is really just devastating. High school OT has confirmed reports that Lake Norman's boys basketball program, the #1 seed in 4A West and last year's regional runner-up, 27-1 this season, has forfeited its third-round playoff game due to an ineligible player. These guys were favored to win state championship this year, and just got caught up with more than likely a paperwork issue and compliance, and their season will at this point, this game's obviously forfeit, but more than likely a good portion of their season, if not all of it, is about to be forfeit.
Yeah.
So
That is wow. I mean, if it's the whole season, though, how do you?
well, what's
I don't understand how it takes this long to figure this out.
I don't either, unless
Yeah.
somebody reported it. And usually it gets figured out by someone in the administration in the school. And they're like, we got to report this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate for, like a school like Mooresville, who, it's technically they're going to be the conference champion now if Lake Norman does have to forfeit the entire season, which means they would have been seeded as a conference champion come playoff time, which they were not.
Which would have made a difference.
And their
Yeah.
season they're already done.
Yep. So I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of things that could have happened. But ultimately, what I'm and I hate this because Mark, and Brian, Bryson, did you play sports in high school?
Not in high school.
Okay.
So yeah.
So there's nothing worse as an athlete when your high school sports athletic career comes to an end. Saw his in person, Brian. I'm sure you can. It was probably tough for you when you realized that was over. I know it was for me, and for these kids to have their, I would almost call it a dream season cut short due to someone's oversight.
Yeah.
Unless it's just flat out cheating. There is that possibility that it was just flat out cheating.
But we don't know.
We don't know.
We can't.
I'm not going to assume.
Right. We can't speculate.
Yep.
We don't,
We
Yep.
don't know.
But if it was a paperwork issue, it really is unfortunate for these kids that have worked so hard to get to where they are this year.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
almost feels like, in a way, I think the most recent example would be like COVID, right? Like
Yeah.
in the springtime when all those sports were going on, I mean, everything just, we're done.
Yeah.
No
That's
more
it.
games.
And that's whether it be in high school or collegiate. Like, if you're a senior at that point, that's how your athletic career, at least at that level, ends.
Yeah. It's tough.
Pretty alarming in that way. You don't have a chance to at least compete and see it end the way that
Yeah.
traditionally we would do it.
Yeah.
Either by winning
Yeah.
or losing.
Yep.
Well, and you think about it like this too. We're talking about a team that was, like you said, favored to win the state
Oh, yeah.
championship.
So even worse.
Bang,
It's
just like
gone.
that. It's over. It's gone.
Yep. So unfortunate for Lake Norman. But that's the breaking news. So moving on in the outline, Brian, you put a question in here, and this would be really.
Because Travis Hunter said this. He did actually say this.
What did he say?
He said that playing both ways in football was harder than playing both ways in baseball, pitching and hitting like Shohei Ohtani.
Does anybody disagree? Because I don't.
You think it's
No.
harder?
No, I think playing both ways in football is harder than playing both ways in baseball.
No.
No, I don't agree with that.
I do.
Now,
so-
so
all right,
here's what we'll do really quick. We'll let Travis Hunter
Mhm.
play a season of NFL football,
Mhm.
and then we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Because he can sit there and say, "Oh, it's hard.
Fair.
It's way harder." But here's the thing: what he's not going to do. He's not going to be playing both ways in the NFL. Not like he was in college.
Oh, listen, I get what you're saying. So, okay, let me ask you this. If you're talking about Shohei Ohtani, okay, so he's pitching and hitting, right? That's
Right.
what you mean by both ways.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, the man has to play both ways once every fifth day, maybe?
Oh,
Hey,
God.
Oh, but in the
God.
NFL,
He
he only
has
has
to
to do
do
it once every
hold on.
7 days.
Hold on,
It's
but let's be
once a week for how many weeks?
Let's be clear for something. The baseball player, okay, if Shohei pitches 5 innings in a game and comes up to the bat 3 or 4 times, oh, the other days he's just hitting. I'm sorry, I don't. I think
What's
it
the
is-
hardest thing to do in sports?
Hit a baseball.
F that.
100%.
F that. Hit a golf ball straight.
No.
I'm sorry. It is more physically grueling to play football
That's
both
not what he
ways.
said.
That's not what he
He
said.
said harder.
That makes it harder,
No.
in my opinion.
No.
100%.
No
Physi-
way.
physically grueling?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. And I think that makes it
I'll
harder.
sit here and tell you that it's more physically grueling to play a full match of soccer than it is to play both ways in football.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
See,
You
I
ever
disagree
try?
with-
You ever try to run that? It's bigger than a football.
Oh, I
field.
know.
It's doing-
100%. But I also,
See, I disagree with him. I think doing both in baseball is much harder.
I'd be interested to see what Mark Webb has to say on this one.
I wouldn't. I
Nope.
personally, look, again, hardest thing in sports, it's the most commonly used thing, right? Hardest thing to do in sports is hit a fastball.
Not at that level, it's not.
What?
It's not.
No.
Those guys have been doing it for their whole lives.
And what's their
Okay, and why do they hit
What's-
300?
what's their
Harry,
average?
why do they can they not hit 300?
And
then?
that's considered good most of the time. So
you're proving the point.
I know that's the point.
I'm
Every-
sorry.
every
The physically,
3 out of 10 times that they walk up to the plate, you actually get on base
All
and
right.
you are elite.
Look at it like this. Hey, look at it like this. If Shohei gets 35 hits in 100 at bats, he is elite, right? If Travis Hunter gets thrown 71 catchable balls or 100 catchable footballs and he catches 35, where is he? He's on the freaking bench.
Brian,
Look at that.
confirm or deny, baseball players are the laziest athletes out there.
I deny it because golf exists.
Where they have to walk.
But that has nothing, Harry. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We are
it has.
talking about performing in the game.
Okay, and you're telling me the physical aspect doesn't become involved in that? It 100% does.
But
So
it's
it is not hard to play both ways for baseball.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry,
To
it's
be a
not.
pitcher
How
and
many are
a
doing
hitter. Yeah, how many guys are doing it?
How many guys doing it in football? Okay,
right now?
so
How many guys?
How many
are
guys do it in
baseball?
baseball?
I said, hang on, let me actually back that up real quick. How many guys are doing it at the high school level?
states will have how many?
Yeah, like
Oh.
quite a few.
So,
Right.
so
okay.
it happens at the high school level.
Okay,
Yes.
I will clarify my
Here's the
comments
other thing.
at the.
It's also really easy to say this when you're maybe above average in both regards, like Travis Hunter.
Being elite. Now, okay, you bring up a good point. Being elite, playing both ways.
This is
But that's
this is
not
where
what he said.
this is where it was damning. Is the fact that he said respect to Shohei Ohtani. No, bro, sit down, sit down. Because you're Travis Hunter. You can sit here and talk to me all you want. One, to me, not a generational talent. You can say whatever you want about Travis Hunter. Great football player, not a generational talent. Shohei Ohtani, generational talent. Unicorn. I mean, like every
yeah.
single acronym in the book you could use to describe Shohei Ohtani has been used. I can't say the same thing for Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter should have won a Heisman Trophy last year. Oh, they're playing him on both sides.
So,
He's a really good corner and a good wide receiver at college.
So, Harry,
What?
will Travis Hunter play on both offense and defense in the NFL regularly, not
That,
No.
occasionally?
that depends. That depends on where he ends up and the value in that way, but more than
Okay.
likely not.
let's try this. Is any team in the top 5 playing him both sides of the football? Tennessee,
No,
Cleveland,
maybe
the Giants.
no. Well, yeah.
No.
I mean, to be elite on both sides of the ball, definitely harder in baseball. That I will say. But to go out there and just play and not, I mean, if you're not talking about being like, again, an elite performer,
Okay.
I think the physical
So-
taxing part makes it harder for
So the
football.
proof
That's
will
my
be in the
opinion.
pudding. We'll see if he plays on both offense and defense regularly, not occasionally.
I don't see it happening.
You can play anyone on both sides of the ball. Are you good at both sides?
Well, 100%. And you
That-
probably will
that's-
never.
That's the problem. You didn't just attack Joe Schmo, going both ways. Oh,
He's
a reliever.
Yeah, like he wasn't arguing about Michael Lorenzen, right? Who
Correct.
occasionally plays in the field and
Correct.
occasionally pitches. He picked out the guy that's a generational talent.
This,
How tall is Shohei? 6'6"?
but
I was
this,
going to say 6'4".
this is the part I also take into
So good,
consideration.
good. I'll throw Shohei on tiny fade balls in the end zone. Because guess who he's taller than?
Just about everybody.
Travis Hunter.
So this is the part I take into consideration with this whole thing.
Okay.
In the NL back in the day, before the universal DH was around, was a pitcher not hitting and pitching on the same day?
How many of them were good?
But how many of them were good
Oh,
hitters?
You are qualifying the remarks. That's the point I'm trying to get at. You're talking about being good at it versus just doing it. Okay, if it's hard again, harder to be good at both, then I agree with you.
But when they
But what do you think Travis Hunter was referring to? What
I-
in Travis Hunter's mind?
I
don't
don't.
think you
I
could-
couldn't tell you what that guy
Well,
was
it's
thinking.
better. I mean, I can be.
If you're just talking about-
I can be great at I think it's easier to be great at doing that.
He would never, and he would never be great in the NFL playing both ways. He would never do. He would never do.
There it goes. See, go. There's the window. See, go out the
No,
window.
I'm just saying.
Validation.
If again, Shohei is one of those players we'll probably never see another one like him anytime soon.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, and at the college level, we've seen every now and then.
Every now and
Yeah.
then.
Right?
I agree.
So,
Every now and
but again, I just personally think that the physical aspect of football makes it harder just to go out there and play both sides. Forget about being good, just to go out there and do
then.
both.
But you can't because that's not the argument.
But
If
it's
you,
also
if
not.
you ask me what the physicality of it, 100% is football.
100% is
You
football.
can't
I agree
argue
with
that.
that. No,
And
you
I
can't
think-
argue with that.
And I think
you
it
can't
makes it
argue
hard.
that.
You can't argue with that. If you're asking me which is harder to be better in,
Well, then that's what the
Baseball.
question should say.
baseball. Maybe we read the comment and actually take the
I didn't
context
read
of
the
I
comment,
think
so-
he said, well, either way.
I didn't read
Move
the
on,
comment.
but I don't. Yeah. All right. Jimmy Johnson has announced his retirement from Fox Sports. Jimmy Johnson's 81 years old. Do you know that lately? I didn't know this. He had switched to working remote from his home in Key West, Florida.
When was this?
He did a lot this past season.
Yeah, this past season he did a bunch of it, according to what I saw.
Well, man, the guy's been doing football stuff for a long time.
31 years on Fox Sports.
Yeah, and let's forget his coaching career before that. I'd say it's time he's earned his time to his days in the sun and relax. I mean, and listen,
Don't go to Dallas.
Jimmy Johnson's been a great gift to football. I feel like as a coach, as a personality in media, as a Hall of Famer, it very well deserved. He's had a great career.
2 Super Bowls in Dallas, 1 national championship
Yeah,
in
right.
Miami.
You could have more in Dallas if Jerry didn't.
How about them Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
It should only be said by that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, listen, great career. He'll be missed, I think, for people that grew up watching Jimmy Johnson on the Fox Sports broadcast.
It was always kind of cool because he was the coach on set.
Yeah.
Because obviously you had
Yep.
Terry Bradshaw, you had Howie Long, now Michael Strahan, Rob Gronk is there now.
Well, it's like when they had Bill Cowher on CBS, or they still do. I
Well, they
guess.
still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
you have your voice of reason. That's not it's on the field playing, right?
Mhm.
But there's the other aspect of it is coaching.
Yeah.
And he always kind of delivered that other perspective. So like personally, I was always too young to see Jimmy Johnson coach, or at least remember him coaching. Right.
Yeah.
So to me, like Jimmy Johnson was always the TV personality. To see that other perspective of how he went about the game of football and how it comes across from a coach's standpoint was always really cool. And it gave a nice little, again, another perspective to how the game is viewed and how it challenges them in that profession. So, and certainly a guy who is everlasting entertaining. I don't think we have seen a core of people stay together that long for a sports TV show.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe inside the NBA, but even then, I mean, it hasn't been nearly as long as what it was with Fox.
Yeah.
So, kudos to Jimmy Johnson. On
Yeah.
a great career.
No, I agree.
All right, let's move on to some college basketball. Some quick hits here. Bill Self and Zeke Mayo. So Zeke Mayo transferred into Kansas before this year. He came from, I believe, South Dakota State. He's actually a Lawrence, Kansas resident.
Mhm.
After the loss to Texas Tech on Saturday night, 78-73. Zeke Mayo received some threats, some racist comments, and some death wishes over social media. What is the matter with people right now?
Oh, well, if you're on social media at all, especially in the last week or so, you know there's a lot going on that's wrong with people.
The last
The-
week.
Well, let me
Well,
jump
just especially
into.
the last
Hey,
week.
that's another thing. So Bill Self came out and said any criticism of the team should be directed at me, the coach.
And he's right.
And Travis Goff, athletic director, said that all this stuff was driven by gambling and hate.
No.
And I sent y'all. Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. I sent y'all a little article.
Yep.
Did you read the very first part of that article?
The very first part.
Just the very first part,
Yep.
which is what I was getting at in relation to this story right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Well, listen. Yeah, there are people that have their money on the line, and it gets really heated when they lose and stuff like that. But this goes back long before this. Social media has turned people into keyboard warriors, and they feel like they can say stuff without
Good point.
having any
Good point.
repercussions. And back in the day, if you were going to say this to someone, you'd literally have to go see someone walking down the the tunnel or whatever, but hey, you suck or whatever, and then you run the risk of Ron Artest coming into the stands and punching you in the face. So I think, honestly,
was it really so bad?
no, not
Was it
really.
so bad back then?
The malice at the palace.
Oh.
No, so
But you're right.
yeah, social
You are
media
correct.
has empowered people to be
So,
keyboard warriors, and there's nothing worse. And I despise it honestly. And listen, have I probably been guilty of it at times? I'm sure I have. I mean, I try to be cognizant of that,
right.
but I think that between that and, like you said, the gambling part, where people are just they're putting money on these games, and this is the product. People are getting pissed when they're losing money.
I think it's empowered is not the right word. I think
Emboldened?
social media. No, I think social media has given people a vessel to become keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Empowered would be something that I would say is like, hey, that's a benefit. That's something for the greater good, whatever it may be.
Oh, I didn't say it was a positive.
Social media is a wasteland. Like for people, I don't know about you, Brian. I don't really think so, but I know Harry and I are on social media that you read comments, regardless. I mean, it can literally be about anything. Sports, entertainment, life, politics, literally anything, right? And it's just negativity. That's all it constantly is now. And you don't even see, it used to be like fun, lighthearted, go on there and see what people were doing with their lives. Social media. It's not the same now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a new challenge that coaches have to face, that administrators have to face, that everyone, athletes certainly have to face, where you have people who don't even know you, and maybe they put money on you. Maybe you're just, the newest member of their favorite team, and all of a sudden,
You have
you
to
have to be perfect.
Right.
And then people feel that is something that they can then act back on. It's not the case. But unfortunately, it is part of the new wasteland that athletes across all levels have to navigate.
It gives you a forum to be negative towards somebody
Correct.
that you can actually hide behind, because nobody really knows who you are.
Well, especially
Like,
if you're
I'm in my basement typing away, right? Banging on the keys.
Well, it's no different than
Right.
what we've seen like with NC Preps and their message boards. You don't even have to put your real name on there. You can come up with Joe Schmo 8410,
Right. This
and
is
you
true.
can say whatever
That's-
you
that's-
want. Yeah.
Well,
that's-
Facebook,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you could, or be like Kevin Durant, fake,
burners.
to burner accounts or whatnot. But no, I mean, it's just like Mark said. I mean, people just feel like they can get away with it, it's really it's just a product of it. And social media is great for certain reasons, especially for athletes who can promote themselves,
Yeah,
especially when they're getting recruited and whatnot
Yes.
in high school and in college or whatnot. But there has been a heavy cost that has been associated with the development of social media and what has become ingrained. I mean, think about this for 1 second. How absurd was it when people started losing their minds when TikTok was going to be gone?
Yeah.
I mean, there were people crying.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the only time I would usually watch TikTok videos when someone sends me one.
Just to watch. Now we're not obviously talking about the millions of people that go on there and they actually have a business.
Oh, they make money and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like you're an entrepreneur, you do your own thing. That's a different story.
People that just
right?
sad they can't scroll and watch TikTok.
Just doom scrolling, as they call it. I don't know if you're into that term or not, but doom scrolling is when you just sit there and scroll.
And then waste time.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's now taken over people, and they don't know how to act right. And it's sad because you shouldn't be sitting here wishing any of the things that are directed at Zeke Mayo or anyone that you're going to say like that. But it is what it is. I mean, Harry and I were movie junkies, kind of, I guess. Anytime we go on, I send him, like a movie I think he'll like, right? That I know I enjoy. I'll send it over to him if they release a new trailer, right? You go on there, even on YouTube, man. Like, there's just negative comments. That's all it is just a wasteland of negativity.
So you can't just watch the trailer and just be like, oh, okay.
I thought
and
this looked cool.
Right. Or if you
Wow, I'm
didn't
excited.
like it, just don't comment.
Remember when back in the day on movie trailers or movies, you'd be Roger Ebert give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's all it was. That was it. It was either 2 thumbs up or
Yeah.
it wasn't good. Now it's just like, can't believe they produced this trash.
Sad, man.
So we'll see what happens with all this. I agree with all what you're saying. It's all the social media
Well,
stuff. I think the sports gambling has something to do with it too. Like I said,
100%. Look, like
Yeah.
Harry said, you're messing with someone's
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
sorry, if you're not directly messing with their money, but they feel like they should take it personally because
Right.
heaven
Yeah.
forbid
Yeah.
they don't.
well, I'm telling y'all, that article I sent you off of The Athletic. Read the whole article. The article is very interesting, but
When you're messing with Tony's money.
yeah, I know. All right, so hey, real quick, let's run through a couple of these college basketball. St. John's is relevant again. Rick Pitino has them at 26-4,
Per minute.
17-2 in the Big East, ranked number 6 in the top 25.
I think they won the regular season already.
They won the regular season. They sure did in the Big East.
Hey, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
When was the last time St. John's was actually, what, like 10 years ago?
When UConn wasn't.
Their highest
Oh, look
rank-
again.
No, they're high. This is their highest ranking since 91.
Who was their coach then? Never
And they
remember.
not, Lou Carnesecca, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name I would know.
And then
Well,
they
it's
not
not-
into the
it's not who I
tournament
thought it
since
was.
2019. Well, look it up,
I am,
1991, because I'm not positive
Well, good.
that's right. Check it.
Good. St. John's is a team that when they've been really good,
Mhm.
really good.
Yep.
It's a good thing for college basketball when you have still like the swing,
God, it was the
powers going in and out.
Told you.
Someone has to fill. Like, again, Carolina being down, UConn,
Yeah.
Kansas
Yeah.
all being down.
Yeah.
Someone else has to fill that void a little bit, even if it's for a year or two. You get a team like St. John's back in there.
And think about Patino getting in trouble, right? And then he come back to Iona, got them into the tournament, and then he went to St. John's. It looks like he's getting them back on the other side.
Good word. He got in trouble. He didn't forget how to coach.
Yeah.
Rick Pitino's a great basketball coach.
He's a great basketball.
Yeah.
Did you see him in the last game with the white suit?
No.
You got to go find a picture of it.
Because Rick Pitino's now a little bit older. I'm sure that
Whole white suit. All right, while y'all are looking that up, Duke at UNC this weekend, Harry.
Yeah.
Saturday. Is it going to be a game?
I mean, listen, I think in this rivalry game, I just saw it too. That the Rick Pitino's bomb in a white suit.
He pulls that off like very vice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this game's at Carolina, right?
Yes, Duke at Carolina.
You can't ever count out Carolina, but on paper this shouldn't be a close game. But this is, again, we talk about this in these rivalries. You throw every stat out the window.
Right.
None of it
Right.
matters. This is R.J. Davis's last game at Carolina versus Duke. You know, there's just so much that goes into it. You just never know what's going to happen. Duke should win. They should win comfortably, but it doesn't always happen that
But
way.
it isn't always
It's almost always a season series split. And let's not forget, Duke just blew Carolina out earlier this year.
87-70. But it wasn't really even 17 points close.
Bryson, one word answer. Is Carolina good right now?
No.
Come back to me when Carolina's good. I don't care.
But that's the point, Mark. As much times as we've seen these games,
Nope.
they don't have to be good for them
Okay,
to be
look,
games.
okay, so let's try this from the outside perspective. Okay? No one else cares. If you're not a Duke fan and you're not a Carolina fan, no one else
As a
cares.
matter of fact, College Game Day is at this game, and I think there are people complaining because they're saying that's not where they should be because that's the not the best game of the day.
It's
It's,
not,
it's because it's where they always are.
Right,
Whenever this
right,
happens,
right.
it's like Sunday night baseball.
I was just going to say Red Sox
Yankees
Yep.
every single
Yep.
time. No one cares.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with Mark on that aspect. It shouldn't be It shouldn't be the College Game Day site, but
10 o'clock at night on TNT, guess what? You bet your sweet buns it's the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Playing the
Even in Kobe's final years when they
playing the Wizards.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who they're playing. All right, real quick, UNC and Wake in the first four out right now, but that's not true anymore. So I looked today, Wake Forest is not in the first four out anymore after getting destroyed
By
the
Cooper
other day
Flagg.
by Duke. Yeah.
You know, really unfortunate that he just played his last game at Duke this year.
But Carolina is, and
He's not going.
And honestly, for Carolina to make the NCAA tournament, they're gonna have to play well this Saturday, and they're gonna have to win a couple games in the ACC.
They're gonna have to make a run.
Yeah.
Where is it in Greensboro again this year?
Charlotte, I think it's in Charlotte.
That's what. Hold on.
I think it's in Charlotte. Actually.
Hold on. ACC men's basketball tournament. Because that's what I was wondering. If it's in Charlotte, I might try to go game.
Yes, I think it's in Charlotte.
So, Wake, not looking great.
It is in Charlotte.
Also not looking terribly great.
No.
Kansas had Houston on the ropes for a little while last night. Only ended up losing by 6, even though the fact they had 20 turnovers.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's a loss.
So now
And,
Kansas is
and
19
that
and
probably
back.
sealed their fate for not making the tournament.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Just hire Hubert Davis to an extension.
Yeah.
That's the.
Oh no, that was done back in December. It just wasn't announced.
Yeah.
Right. All right, one more SEC.
Because it made sense in December.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You were there last
It
week.
made sense. I know you. I saw it, but I'm saying. All right, SEC Kings of college basketball this year.
Yeah.
The SEC has 8 teams in the top 25,
They're going to have 4 teams in the top 2 seeds.
and they actually have 3 in the top 5.
Yeah.
Who you're saying they'll have Auburn, Tennessee, and Florida?
And,
3 number ones?
and more than likely, who Alabama? No.
Well, Duke.
No. They're gonna have. When I say top 2 seeds, I'm talking like they're gonna have 2 1s and 2 2s.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Because right now your top 4 is Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Tennessee
Houston. I'm sorry.
in the AP poll.
Okay, yeah. So the number ones are gonna be Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Tennessee.
Okay,
That's to me. And then I think Florida's a 2 seed, and I think Alabama's a 2 seed.
I got you.
So
All right, and just so you know, in the rundown, the Big 12 has 5 teams in the top 25. Big 10 has 5, and the ACC has 3.
hey, by the way, speaking of the Big Ten, let's give a big shout out to the women of Troy sweeping UCLA, who's been number 1 most of the season in women's basketball, and becoming the Big Ten champions in women's basketball. Fight on, Juju Watkins.
All right.
I'm gonna give you a high five.
High five.
All right, so let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to talk some Checkers hockey before the game. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back.
Yeah. Wait. You know what's harder? To play both ways in baseball or open one of these packs with something in it. Well, it's because I have like no nails. Which one's this paradox?
I just want you guys to know I'm making you all look really good right now. So, just letting you know.
Thank God you're doing your job. That's crazy. It's not Lord. Bryson doing his job. That's crazy. That's some shit.
Don't get used to it.
Man, boys, I'm happy because guess what? I can go home tonight, turn the power on in my rig, and use my lithium batteries and turn the lights on and do whatever I want. It was cool.
So I've determined how they have fates, how they evolved, or Crown Zenith are the only ones I feel like I ever pulled from.
You got dog spawn in the Stellar Crown or Stellar Crown.
Oh, Stellar Crown, that's the other one, sorry.
So Crown Zenith, Stellar Crown, and Paldea.
How they.
Because that's what you've gotten hits out of so far. You pulled so much freaking Crown Zenith. It's not even
Well, no,
funny.
but I feel like I've done a good bit of Paradox Rift so far, and
I told you it's me.
I haven't done a lot of Obsidian yet. I'm still working on that.
Watch, he's gonna get a big fish. That's what he's done so far. His beginner's luck is big.
Oh, I pulled one the other day, and Mark's like, and like it was one he's been looking for.
Two of them.
Oh, 2, yeah.
Two of them. I'm still trying to get the other one.
He's trying to offer me a trade. Hey, I thought about getting that graded, but then because it's this close to being 10, but I think it's off center just a hair. So if it was a 10, it's worth $375.
It's installed by pros who ride just like you. And here's the best part. Labor starts at just $250. That's right. Premium sound at an unbeatable price. Stop by Westside Twins Motorcycle Company, 2313 West Front Street in Statesville, or call 704-380-2181. Get loud. Get Rockford Fosgate. Come ride with us.
Attention all home decor and comfort lovers. White Sales Home Furnishings and Flooring just received a huge truckload of Spring Air back support mattresses, and they're on sale now. All sizes and firmness levels available at unbeatable prices. Plus, we've got a massive selection of home furnishings, including sofas, recliners, tables, and more at spectacular savings. And that's not all. When you're ready to give your floors a makeover, we've got the best selection of carpet, hardwood, laminates, and more. Hurry in today to shop our incredible deals and revamp your home in style. White Sales, 583 Turnersburg Highway, Statesville.
Hey, Ardell County, you know running a small business is no small feat, and getting more customers, well, it can be a real challenge these days. That's where Skyview Marketing comes in. They make amazing websites and handle your marketing while keeping you in the loop every step of the way. At Skyview, they say what they mean and mean what they say. So head on over to skyviewmarketing.co to book a free call and see how they can help your business grow. Don't let your business fall behind. Partner with Skyview Marketing today. That's skyviewmarketing.co.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
Welcome back to the Sports Recap Show here on 92.9 WAME, brought to you by the Charlotte Checkers, live from the Randy Marion studio. And we'd like to remind you that if Aaron Rodgers still has a job at the highest level of his profession, we're sure you can get one at yours. Mark the Rookie Covert, Brian the Professor Suarez, Harry the Man You Know Strand, Bryson the Commander Davis. refurbished mothership, fellers.
I know it's nice.
Did you get anything?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
What do you mean anyways. Back here on the Sports Recap Show. Lost my train of thought. My bad. Guys, we talked a little bit of college basketball. We know that Travis Hunter is a fool when trying to come at the best like Shohei Ohtani. But now we move on to hockey. Of course, there is a Charlotte Checkers game tonight after the show here on 92.9 WAME. And Brian, give us an update about the old Charlotte Checkers.
I will in just a minute. I got a question for Bryson. Hey, I thought we were playing fantasy hockey. Did your team play last week?
No, they didn't.
Oh, my.
The guys were sick. They weren't feeling good, and I didn't feel comfortable.
I got pretty close to outscoring you by almost 100 points, dude.
Yeah. I really wanted you to finally get a win. And just
I beat
have a
you
little
2 out of 3
success.
times. You realize that, right?
Yeah, no,
Because
well,
I look back.
2 out of 3 now.
Yeah.
I forfeited this week, and I shouldn't have. It was my fault. Honestly, I just haven't. I've been so busy. It's like I should have done what you do and set my lineup at the beginning of the week, because then I wouldn't have had to worry about
Well,
it.
you know what?
But honestly, just didn't think about it. And then you texted me, and you're like, "Hey,
I know.
you got a team to keep up." So I'm probably going to be fired. But as Hubert Davis still has a job,
But you know
Hubert
what?
Davis still has a
There you
job.
go. There it is.
Okay.
I know.
know.
Rogers,
But let me
Hubert
tell you
Davis.
something.
Yeah.
Boys, let me tell you something about this. So I was texting him on Sunday while I'm at the grocery store. Danil was giving me fits. Why are you doing that to him? I'm like, because he's not paying attention. Well, she says, well, he's probably busy. And I'm like, oh, like I'm not, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't do anything.
You're gonna,
Thank
if you're
you,
gonna
Daniel, for
compete,
being on my side.
no,
I appreciate it.
Daniil, if you're gonna be competing in anything sports related, you better come ready to go.
No, look, Danielle, she's a Tar Heels fan. She knows what she's talking about, so I appreciate it.
So I need to listen to her.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you should. I want her to know that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Don't
See,
look
this
at
is,
me like
this
that.
is the part of the conversation where I bail out because I'm not even. Nope.
I'm just
Nope.
So
thinking
because
Danielle.
she has the unfortunate business of being a Tar Heels fan, she knows what she's talking about. She also married Brian
listen,
Suarez.
the dubious honor.
Okay.
The dubious
I have
honor.
a point.
All right, so let's go on
At
to
the rate of the season, though, and,
Do you-
and the fact that she's still a Tar Heels fan, I think that says a lot about her. So hey,
Bryson, real
Where
quick,
else
I'm
is
sorry,
she
just
going?
real
I don't
fast.
know.
I'm going to prove
Hubert
a
Davis
point.
isn't going
I'm going to
anywhere.
disprove your
It's a
point about
fact.
being how a Tar Heels fan
Okay.
proves anything. Okay, Bryson, do you have a girlfriend?
yes,
I know the answer to this question. You do.
Yeah, okay.
What is
And
her
now
name?
America
What
knows.
is her name?
Riley.
Riley. Okay.
Yep.
How long have you
Yep.
and Riley been together?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
So
exciting.
Is she a Carolina fan?
she is now.
She is, and she's
Yep.
with you as well.
Yep. yep,
So we now prove a point that she has no sense of judgment.
No. Hey, did I walk into that one or what?
yeah, you walked into it. All right,
you
let's,
just you
let's
stayed
talk
in the
some-
Alexis is marrying this guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I am not a Tar Heel fan.
enough said.
they at least have a similar. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, hey, let's talk about some Checkers hockey because the game is coming up in a little bit. Right now, they are 4th in the Atlantic Division with 64 points. They're 2 behind Wilkes-Barre for 3rd, 4 behind Providence for 2nd, and 7 behind Hershey for 1st. They are 4th on the power play in the league right now at 22%. They are number 1 in the penalty kill at 86. One of the interesting things is, and I think we've talked about this on here, usually if your penalty kill percentage is very high, you have very few shorthanded goals. The Checkers actually have the best penalty kill and the most shorthanded goals in the league, which is very unusual. Couple player things happened. So the Panthers traded Spencer Knight to the Blackhawks
I did see that.
for Seth Jones, which meant that Chris Drieger went from the Checkers to the Panthers as a new backup. So now I guess the Checkers are going to go with Cooper Black and Ken Appleby. Cooper Black, the 6'8" goaltender.
Well, how about that?
So tonight and tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the Checkers are playing the Springfield Thunderbirds. I believe that is the St. Louis Blues team. And then this weekend you can catch them Saturday at 4, Sunday at 1 versus the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which is the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, how exciting!
That'll be a good time. I was following the Checkers a little bit. This is their first home game in a while, right? They've had a home game in a couple of
Like
weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the last game? They finished their road trip with a win. Had a shutout loss that was kind of tough. 2 games.
No, they
2
lost
games
to
ago.
Cleveland. Last weekend they played Cleveland, and they had 1-0 with like 4 minutes to go in the game and ended up losing 2-1 in overtime.
Oh.
And then they shut them out on Saturday night. I think the score was 4-1, no shutout, 4-1.
Okay, there you go. So, hey, a little bit of redemption at the end of a road trip, but coming back home has to be good for the boys, and I expect them to be pretty good. So we'll see how they do tonight. We'll tune in about 15 minutes to the game. We'll join TJ Shalott on the call as we see what's going on down there at the Bowplex.
And if we take it up a step, the Florida Panthers, they traded for Seth Jones, defenseman Seth Jones. I think that was a great addition. I also like the fact that Spencer Knight is going to the Blackhawks, where he should get a chance to play regularly. I believe he's a very good goalie. He just was behind an excellent goalie in Florida with Sergei Bobrovsky.
Excellent.
And right now, Panthers are tied with Toronto for first in the Atlantic Division. I watched last night. They've been playing quite well, but they did announce yesterday that Matthew Tkachuk will be out. He was put on long-term injured reserve till the end of the season. He's out for the year. Got hurt in the Four Nations that you were talking about last week. So there have been some injuries that have taken place on the Four Nations. And then let's talk a little bit about your Hurricanes.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the deal is with Mikko Rantanen, but
Which
it's
is
kind
the
of
big
a
story.
kind of a bust, or it's shaping up to be that way. I think they're not going to be able to pay him what he wants. Obviously, a pretty high caliber player, so he wants a lot of money. But if they're not able to reach an agreement, then the whole entire deal is a bust. You lost Marty Necas and Jack Drury to get Mikko Rantanen, and he's probably going to be leaving pretty soon.
The trade deadline is Friday at 3 o'clock. So my question to you, on Saturday, will Mikko Rantanen be a Carolina Hurricane?
Personally, I don't think so, and that's just because I don't think they're going to pay him enough. I don't think what he's expecting and what other teams would offer to have Mikko Rantanen. I mean, you saw what Carolina gave up. I mean, Marty Necas was, the number one points guy for months at the beginning of the NHL season, and then you send him to Colorado for Rantanen. It looks like a good trade, and it has been good. Mikko's a great player, and he's played well. But now you come to the point where you got to sign some contracts, and I think, honestly, I just don't think they're going to be able to play him. And, he's got a lot of trade value, so we'll see how that goes. But I just, with the result of him coming to Carolina for like 2 months, I don't think it's worth giving up Marty Necas and Jack Drury for that. It's going to be another. You remember what happened with Jake Gensel? He's in Tampa playing like crazy now, playing good. It's going to be a similar situation.
Well, okay. Let me ask you a question. So if they keep Rantanen and he plays all through the playoffs, can they win the Stanley Cup with him?
Well, they've got a higher chance to do that with Rantanen. If they're not able to hold on to him, absolutely not. But with Rantanen, I think they have a chance to make a run. But I mean, I don't know. You've watched it with me the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's tough. You still have your problem areas, and you didn't solve any of that before the trade line, or they haven't done that yet. So.
I think he gets traded.
Yeah, he probably does.
I think he gets traded. I think they figured out that they're not going to be able to sign him. They're not going to be able to come up with the money.
Yeah.
He's going to test the market. So I think they'll trade him. I've seen some rumors out there to a couple of teams, Toronto being one, which it would be crazy with him and Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander on the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, if you put all those guys on the
Think
same
about
team, that's a
right?
Stanley Cup winning team.
And then I saw another one, Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Which again, they're good right now. He's go back to the Western Conference if he got traded over there.
Yep.
And then the other one is a team that I kind of think is on the upswing. I saw them play just a couple weeks ago against the Hurricanes, and that's the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
They've been rumored to trade for him too. Again, going back to the Western Conference, I think the Kings are a team on the upswing. They have been playing really, really well. So I kind of think that, yes, he gets traded. I don't think they keep him on Saturday. He's not a Carolina Hurricane. I think they trade him for some prospects.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I think on Friday we'll see some other trade deadline deals. I'm not sure if we'll see any other big names, but it'd be kind of crazy that Rantanen, one of the top 10 players in the NHL, will get traded twice.
Yep.
In the same season.
Within like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great looking deal, at the start of all of this. But you would think they had to know going into it. You're about to sign you're going to have to sign a contract with the dude. You got to be able to pay him, and with his status, he's going to want a lot of money. And the Hurricanes are not known for now. They've given a lot of guys 8-year extensions, like Svechnikov, Aho, and I think Seth Jarvis. All of those, and maybe even Jacob Slavin might even be on the list. But they're just they haven't really reached their hand out into the arena of, hey, let's find a big name, pay him a lot of money. That's just not who the Hurricanes are. The whole entire front office staff that makes these decisions that are not known for making these decisions.
And if you think about what I've been talking to you about for a while now, they don't win the cup because of two things. Number one, they don't have that goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
They have him now, but they're not going to sign him. They're probably going to trade him.
And you had him in Jake Gensel too.
Yeah, and you don't have a goal. You don't have a goalie to win in the Stanley Cup. The goalie the team that wins the Stanley Cup playoffs has to have a goalie that makes all the stops he should, and some of the ones that he shouldn't.
Yep, I want my goalie, if I'm going to win the Stanley Cup, I want him to play the same way Jordan Bennington did in the Four Nations. And you're never going to see that out of Frederik Andersen because you don't have a goaltender. You have a goaltending team at Carolina.
Yeah.
You have Pyotr Kochetkov, who's a great goalie, but he's not your star guy. He's not the guy that comes out and plays every single game. He's not your Connor Hellebuck, your guys like that. So until Carolina has that, you can give them all the goal scorers they want, but if you can't keep pucks out of the net, which you can't right now with no Freddie Andersen every other night and Pyotr Kochetkov, it's just inconsistent, and that's their priority. I would have took a good goalie over Mikko Rantanen any day in that trade.
There could be one out there. John Gibson from the Ducks.
I'll take anybody, Brian. I'll take anybody at this point. You could give me, John Smith from Philadelphia. I don't care. You take a guy off the street. Anybody but Freddie Andersen.
All right, so we'll keep our eyes on all of that. Trade deadline's coming up. So
You good? Yeah, I'm okay.
It's been a rough couple of years.
We'll keep on that.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching it.
And we'll keep up on the Checkers again. The game will be coming on here in about 8 or 9 minutes. So, boys, I got questions for y'all. You're the NFL experts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Neither one of our teams traded for Deebo Samuel, so we're not Super Bowl contenders. All
right. So listen, I put some players down here. I want to see, are they going to play next year for the first one? And if so, where? Aaron Rodgers, is he playing next year?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Where do you think he's playing?
I don't.
Well, so here's the dealio.
I don't.
He's no longer going to the Rams because Stafford got that deal worked out. He has a limited list of places he could go, and I think there's two likely scenarios. One would be the Giants, and the other would be the Steelers.
I'm gonna stop it right there. It's not happening. We see this a lot where
you don't have a solid quarterback
all year
position.
long. Aaron Rodgers won't make it any better. All year long, right? Dude gets trashed. Okay, the player here gets trashed. And then all of a sudden the offseason comes around, well, you could go here, or you go here, we go here, we go here. And then all of a sudden there's this build-up and this hype around it just for nothing to happen. Mm-hmm. This is Aaron Rodgers in 2025. No, thank you. I'll be honest with you. I think Pittsburgh ends up bringing one of the guys on this list onto the roster.
Let's go with the guy I think you're talking about. It would be the last name on there, right?
Correct.
All right, so the last name on my list is Justin Fields. And granted, these guys are all free agents except one. When we get to one, he's not. He's requested a trade, right? But Justin Fields is a free agent, played for the Steelers last year. So you think he goes back to the Steelers?
I think he goes back, and I think it's because, one, it's a mutual thing where the Steelers had a good experience with Justin Fields. Goes 4-2 in the 6 starts that he had. Sets out. They don't lose draft capital to the Bears, by the way, because he did not play 50% or more throughout the season of their snaps. So they didn't lose draft capital that way. But you can bring him back on a cheaper contract. And teams, he's been linked to a team like the Jets, because obviously they are looking for a quarterback now, because it won't be Aaron Rodgers. They're going to see that the Steelers want to pay him. As long as the Steelers get in there first, that's where teams will then shy away. Because Justin may want a higher figure. And if he sees a higher figure, maybe it entices him. But even a team like, if I'm a player and I'm looking at a team between Pittsburgh and the Jets, right? Not that the Steelers are world beaters right now. The Jets are a mess, dude. Like, the Jets are objectively a mess.
Well, here's the other thing. If he goes back to the Steelers, he's pretty familiar with the
system.
And
you come back in for year 2, you got familiarity there. I think they end up bringing him back, and maybe at that 21st pick, depending on how the draft shakes out, maybe you take a quarterback. Jackson Dart had an excellent combine, so his stock is going to rise a little bit.
Well, the other thing with Justin Fields coming back too now is he won't have to deal with Russell Wilson, because that's probably a factor too.
It murkied the waters last year.
Yeah.
You can't for both of them.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say that didn't happen. Even when Russell Wilson was eventually the starter, Justin Fields came in for different packages. So his presence was still there at that point. I think given the way that football is played now, in the state of the game and where it's at, you have to have someone who's athletic, can expand the pocket, can move and run.
And that's what
Justin
he can
Fields
do.
is the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Well, and what I'm saying too is think about it. Russell Wilson's a free agent, and the Steelers will not sign him back.
I don't think so.
So all right,
There's
so
a lot of
let's-
things saying like they're leaning towards Fields. No, man, they're leaning means Russell Wilson standing all the way in the corner and they're not even looking at him.
All right, so let's go to the other quarterback on this list, Sam Darnold, who the Vikings decided not to franchise tag, and now he will be a free agent.
Viva
But
Las
he, last year he was so good until the end of the year, though,
Viva
right? And then he kind of fell apart. So you're thinking Raiders, huh?
Viva Darnold
Raiders.
Vegas.
I like the Raiders.
Can I do that legally?
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason you can't.
We just got flagged for copyright.
Wouldn't be the first time. So I mean, yeah, I like the Raiders. I also
Hate the Raiders.
I don't like them. I like where he ends up, but I also like the Steelers again. I'm going to put that out there.
Well, but he need a quarterback.
Listen, now that he has not been franchise tagged, the Steelers could potentially investigate that option for sure.
Here's the problem.
Right.
He gonna command a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders are like, we've been in purgatory for so long, we don't even know what's going on anymore. Pay that guy.
Yeah.
I think having Brady there also in ownership does make a bit of a difference on where they go with their quarterback situation. Because they're going to look at him and be like, hey, who do you think?
There's also
That's true.
another team I would say could be in that market, but with the new coach, coach. What about the Saints?
No, they already said they're committing to
To the car.
to Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean,
God, could you imagine being that delusional?
yeah,
Good Lord Almighty.
yeah. Well,
Derek Carr's our
well, then I mean, the Raiders are Steelers. Then I mean, those would be two good picks.
All right, one more on here. Now this person.
Now the
is
Vikings
not-
still could get him.
They could.
Just
This person is not a free agent, but has requested a trade, and this will be Myles Garrett. Will he play next year?
Well,
he's not been traded yet.
And the Browns said we wanted to restructure your deal and extend you and get an extension in here. And the agent said, yeah, we're slamming the door on that.
He wants to go play for a winner.
Correct.
It's got nothing to do with money at this point.
That is
So
correct.
So here's the deal. It's not going to be a team that has, we got all this money we could spend, or we could re-sign. It's someone who's well, no, I'm not saying that's just not the only thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This has to be a qualified potential Super Bowl threat.
winner next year.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't know what sort of deals they're going to have to work out. Buffalo. KC.
No. No.
Oh, hold on a second.
Nope. Nope.
Is Chris Jones' contract up?
No.
I thought his
He
contract.
just signed one.
Hold on.
Well, you know where when they first said this, you know where the rumors were, right? Philadelphia.
Philly, yeah.
And that's
probably the most
Exhibit
likely.
A. Remember that Debo Samuel trade you guys had, Bryson? That was cute, wasn't it? Here comes Myles Garrett to Philadelphia. Good Lord Almighty, because somehow,
Oh, you're right. That was last year he signed a contract.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
somehow, some way, the Eagles have done so freaking well in the NFL draft the last couple of years. As we know, they're working on a bunch of rookie contracts right now. Lower end contracts,
Yep.
good performers, right? That means they've got cap space. They also have done all of this while maintaining exquisite draft capital. Two things that in this instance you need to make this
Trade
trade.
is draft capital.
Because you can just dangle that out in front of the Browns and be like, hey guys, guess what? And the Eagles may not even bat an eye. Because if they can get a dude like Myles Garrett on their roster,
Yep.
just lock it in. You can lock it in next year. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't even matter. Saquon Barkley got $20 million a year as a running back. Myles Garrett comes on that roster, lock it in.
Just imagine
you
him-
could just accept it now.
Him, Jalen Card, Jordan Davis, all in the same line.
Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
I mean,
yeah. That is the Iron Curtain reincarnated in Philadelphia.
what was the name of the Broad Street Bullies?
Flyers? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the new one. It's
Yeah.
on the gridiron.
Yep.
Broad Street Bullies.
So right now, I just looked it up. The Eagles and the Bills are the odds-on favorites to land him.
Makes sense for both of them.
Yep,
All right,
Bills
boys.
need defense.
they do.
All right, boys. It's been a fun hour here on the Sports Recap. Going to switch real quick to the Charlotte Checkers game. Our good buddy TJ Shalott will bring you the call of the game from Charlotte as they take on the Springfield Thunderbirds.
Go Checks.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
Real Country. Real Country.
Off the face-off, it's going to be taken back behind the net. Checkers continue this puck into the zone. Sordiff looking for it in the right wing corner.